One day, there was a burning building, and there was a kid trapped inside. Then the main character was trying hard to save his friend, but his strength is not enough to lift a boulder. Luckily, they were rescued by a knight on time. After that event, the blonde kid became motivated, and decided to become a knight. Then the main character also wanted to become a knight too. Many years later, and the two friends were now adults, and they were hunting down some bandits in a modern-day setting. Then they defeated the bandits easily. Suddenly, the main character told her that he will be her knight in shining armor, and she immediately felt the doki doki in her heart. On a certain evening, there was an update about the main character, and his housemates discovered that he was set for a marriage matchmaking session. The ladies seems to be very interested with his matchmaking event, but the blonde knight was worried upon hearing that news. Then she ran away from the scenario. After that, the two friends went to do their night shift duty. Suddenly, they saw a very sussy person doing some shady transaction. The blonde knight immediately went after the bandits, and the main character was trying to stop her, because he wanted them to inform their commander first. However, the blonde did not listen, so she accidentally get lured into the enemy territory. Then the bandits suddenly appear out of nowhere, and they surrounded the solo player. The bandits wanted some entertainment from her, and she was now a frightened damsel in distress. Luckily, she got a Prince Charming to save her from the problem she created. The main character was defeating dozens of bandits using his plot armor, while the lady was just watching him do all the work. Therefore, he cheered the female knight, and she suddenly became motivated, and she was now useful in this life and death situation. Meanwhile, the backup have arrived, so the bandits run away. Then the main character approached his blonde princess, and she was very moody. The main character grabbed her for a hug, because he was very worried that he might lost her. She apologized to the main character for being a bad girl, since she thought that she can do it alone. The main character have forgiven her, and he wanted them to always have a teamwork. In the next scenario, the female knight was doing her sword swinging routine, and she was doing this to free her thoughts from thinking of the main character. Since she was still bothered with the main character's marriage matchmaking session, suddenly, the main character appeared in front of her, so she accidentally hit his brain. Anyways, the main character came here, because there is something very important that he wanted to tell her. However, she was not interested. Then the main character suddenly gave her a back hug, and he told her that he declined the matchmaking session, because he was already in love with her. He wanted to know how she feels about him, and it turns out that she was in love with him since childhood. Then the main character apologized for being dense, and not realizing her feelings. After that, they have some kissing scene, and it did not took 12 episodes for this to happen.
Nice.
The main character wanted to know more about her, so he opened her hidden treasure chest, and he was playing with her squishy treasure. In addition, the main character have awakened his hunger instinct, and he was having a melon feeding frenzy. After that, the main character was using his helping hand to excavate the fresh underground mineral water. At this point, the main character cannot hold back anymore. So, he unleashed his legendary sword, because he wanted her to try his weapon. She agreed to his request, and the main character drew the first blood with his long sword. Then they have a very ferocious battle, and the main character was not holding back his strength, because they wanted this moment to become memorable. Afterwards, the main character used his white explosion to finish their extreme combat sport. However, she wanted more, so they kept on fighting, till late afternoon. In the next scenario, it was a swimming pool event. She was very dazzling, so many were attracted to her appearance. The main character mistook her for a boy when they were still young, and that is very dangerous in 2024, because assuming genders will give you the cancel culture. After that pool date, they visited her room, and she was a plushie collector. By the way, they did not do anything cultured in that room. Anyways, their date continued at a local cafe, and she was feeding him with some parfait. In addition, she cleaned the cream on his face. Then they reminded me that I'm still single. In the next scenario, the blonde lady was relaxing in the tub, and she was very excited for tomorrow, because she will have another date with the main character. In addition, she was expecting that they will have some clapping exercises too. After her bath, she went to her room and combed her hair. Then she was thinking if the main character loves large melons, so she remembered someone with much larger assets than her. Suddenly, she looked at the window, and saw the main character with another woman housemate that owns a very large assets. So, she felt the NTR treatment, and she was now undergoing the depression 10,000. After that, she starts avoiding the main character. So, she rode a train to go to a special place to calm her mind. This town was a memorable place for her, because this is the place with childhood memories. Coincidentally, the main character was also here. Then they watch the beautiful sunset, and they start reminiscing about their past. This place was very important for them, because they made a promise here to become knights. Suddenly, the main character explained, and he told her that the woman with him that time was drunk, and she was just clinging to him. She knows that the main character is a noble person and not a cheater, and she was just overthinking that time. The two of them have now reconciled from a misunderstanding. Then they vowed to each other to become forever. Since it's a freaking love story, the world adjusted, and everything became slow motion. In addition, a simultaneous camera 360 was added for dramatic effect. Then the couple kisses to create a romantic scenario. During the night, the main character was keeping a raging creature. She knows that she was the cause of this phenomenon. So, she will take responsibility by taming his wild creature, and her taming method was called the Gulp Gulp 3000. The main character wanted a cooperative activity, so they used 69% of cooperation. Then the main character fed his girlfriend with his pure vanilla milkshake. After that, the main character used her melons to scrub his legendary sword, and he marinated her face with a fresh mayonnaise. The main character took out his elastic armor for protection, but she wanted her economy to have a 9 months inflation. Therefore, the main character granted her suggestion, and they started a wholesome bonding session. In addition, the main character was using his rod of destruction to ensure the delivery of a maximum explosion. The couple have a healthy relationship, same with their body. Therefore, they continued clapping until morning. Then she realized that she has now become a woman of culture. After a while, she wanted them to have a final battle, because she was already full tank. So, the main character decided that he will pour out everything he got in this final fight. Then the main character planted his seeds of creation, and it was a mission success. A few days later, they completed their knight exam, and both of them passed as an S-rank knight. In addition, they also have their own home. So, they have a new clapping nest. She was cooking in the kitchen, and it was a multitasking activity, because the main character was busy baking her cake from behind. After that, the main character wanted a nutritious organic drink. So, he was drinking her melon juice. Then he feed his melon juice producer with some pizza, and he was thanking her for always giving him the chance to serve his creamy vanilla milkshake. After that vanilla moments, there was a sudden call from the radio. It was an emergency, so they skipped breakfast. However, they have already ate the special breakfast, so that would be enough to give them energy for work. They put on their armors, but the main character was worried about his wife, since his wife was already carrying a blessing in her tummy. She was not worried at all, since she believes that the power of love can protect her. After that, they went to their duty, but before leaving, a kiss was performed. In addition, a very unholy holding hands too. That's the end of this wholesome cultural anime recap, and watching for the plot is socially acceptable, probably. Anyways, here is your creamy vanilla sauce, and the sauce consumption is for the culturally matured people only, and thank you for watching my cultural anime recap.